fractions from whole numbers. So before we start, I'd like you to get some paper and a pencil because you're going to be doing this with me. Very excited. I am very excited. I'm sure you are too, because taking away fractions is not as daunting as it sounds. You will soon see it's quite easy and you will enjoy it. So go and get the paper and pencil and I'll be waiting here for you. Right, today we are going to subtract fractions from whole numbers. We're going to subtract fractions from whole numbers. So let's recap quickly. In your fraction, our numerator is the amount we will be shading in or taking away or cutting out. The denominator tells us how many parts all together in our shape. Parts all together in our shape or in our whole. So our first question is, our first sum is 1 whole take away 3/4. So I'm going to change this 1 into a fraction or into a diagram. So I've made my circle, my pie or my pizza. Now let's look at the amount we're going to cut our shape into is the amount that's in our denominator, because that's the parts all together. So how many parts do we have all together? We have 4. So I'm going to divide my whole pizza into 4 equal parts. So that's 2, which is half. And now I have 4. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. But now I need to take away 3 parts. So I'm taking away 3, so I need to shade in 3 parts. Count with me. 1, 2, 3 parts. So if I take these 3 parts away, what am I left with? I'm left with only 1/4. So 1 whole take away 3/4 is equal to 1 part over 4. I can also change this or convert this into a fraction. So if I have 1 whole, how many parts did we have all together when I drew this? Count with me again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I had 4 parts all together. And the whole shape is cut up into 4 parts. So my 1 whole is 4 over 4. Your whole is always the same. The top and the bottom number must always be the same for a whole. So 4 over 4, take away my sum, 3/4. Now just like when we were adding with the same denominator, we are now subtracting with the same denominator. So I'm going to keep my denominator the same, and I'm only going to take away from my numerators. So what is 4 take away 3? So 4 take away 1, 2, 3. I'm left with 1 and 1/4. And they are the same. Right, so what have we noticed now? So our steps are, we change or we draw. So first I drew my shape because I found it easier to see what my whole looks like. Or you can change it like I did to a fraction. Remember, when you write a whole, you have the numerator and the denominator must be exactly the same, then it's 1 whole. So change the whole numbers to a fraction with the same denominator as the denominator in your takeaway part. Now that you've got your fraction or your drawing, we take away only the numerators. You see, my denominator is the same. I keep it the same there, and I take away only the denominators. Now that you know that, we are going to take away some more fractions. Good. So we're going to do this one together, and then this one I want you to do in your books in a minute. So first, now we have 2 wholes, take away 4, 6. So I've got 2 wholes. In our previous sum, we only had 1 whole, so I only drew 1 pie, 1 pizza. Now we have 2 wholes, so I drew 2 chocolate bars. And how many did I divide this in? How did I know what to divide it into? What did I look at? I looked at my denominator. My denominator is 6. So I divided my whole into 6 equal parts. Let's count and check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's one whole. Count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is my second whole. So I've got one whole number, I've got two whole numbers, and that's where I got the 2 from, because that tells me how many parts or how many holes I need to draw. And how many segments do I need to divide it into equally? I look at my denominator. Now let's start. It's telling me to take away 4, 6. So I know this is already divided into 6. Remember, the top number, the numerator, tells us how many parts we need to shade in. So we need to shade in 4 equal parts. So count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. So I've got my 2 holes. I need to take away 4 equal parts from my hole that I have. So let's see what's left over. I can already see I've got 1 hole there. So I'm going to put 1 hole there. What fraction is left over here? I did not shade in 2, so my top number is 2. What was my denominator again? How many equal parts did I divide it into? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The same as your denominator there. So this is what I have left over. Left over. I know it's one word. Right, so now I'm going to write my answer. What's left over, I write it there. So I have 1 whole left over, and I have 2 6 left over. Do you see that? I'm also going to show you how I change that into a fraction. Right, so we said when we change a whole into a fraction, the denominator and the numerator must be the same. So my denominator is 6. So I can already say that 6, 1 whole, is 6 over 6. But I've got 2. Okay? So I've got 6 over 6 again. I'm going to put that in brackets because that is my whole. I need to take away, we change my color. I need to take 4, 6. So take away 4, 6 is equal to. Right, now let's take this away from that. So because my numerator is smaller than my denominator, I'm just going to use one of these. So I can already say, what is 6 take away 4? It is 2. So 6 take away 4 is 2. I'm left with 2 there. So what is left over? 6 over 6 plus 2 over 6. Now we know 6 over 6, if the numerator and denominator is the same, it is 1 whole. So I'm going to change this section here into 1 whole. Then I'm left with 2 over 6. Is that the same as that? Yes. So you either draw the diagram, if it's easier for you, or you convert your whole into whole fractions like that, where the denominator and the numerator is the same. Right, now I'd like you to pause the video, write down your new fraction. You either draw it or you write your whole fractions like I've showed you over there. Okay, off you go. Good. Let's see, what have you done? Which method have you chosen? So I'm going to start off with drawing the diagrams. How many holes should I draw? That's right. I need to draw 3 holes. And how many pieces must each hole be divided into? Which number do we look at? That's good. We look at the denominator. So each of my chocolate bars must be divided into 5 equal parts. So let's draw those equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So here's my chocolate bar. Let's count and see if I have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. So that is 1 whole. Let's draw the next one. And the third one. Before I carry on, I'm going to immediately write my fraction. So what is my fraction for this one? It is, denominator is 5, so my numerator will also be 5 over 5. Plus another one, 5 over 5. Plus another one, 5 over 5. So that is my 1, 2, 3 holes. I'm taking away 7/5. 7/5. Right, so let's continue with our diagram. Right, so I've got my 3 holes, I'm done with that number. Now I need to take away, what am I taking away? I take away my numerator. So I need to shade in 7 of those. So count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that enough? No, it said 7. So I've got 5, 6, and 7. Good. Now what is left over? From a distance, I can already see I have 1 whole chocolate bar left over. So I'm going to write that there. What fraction is left over in here? Because this I ate all already. So I've got some left over here. So count with me. I have 1, 2, 3 parts that I have not shaded in. So that is my numerator. And I know my whole part was cut up into 5 equal parts. So let's see if this answer is going to be exactly the same as that one. So I know this here, 5, 5, 5. So these are my 3 holes. I need to take 7 away from my numerator. So let's add these 2 numerators together. 5 plus 5 is 10. Good. So let's put 10 up there. I need to take the 7 away. So 10 take away 7 is equal to 3. So this part here is 3/5. Because I used these 2. Right, so I've got 5/5. What is 5/5 again? If both numerator and denominator is same, then this here is 1 whole. So there's 1 whole. So what am I left with? I'm left with 1, which is the same as that. I'm left with 3/5, which is the same as that. So you can use that method or you use your diagrams. Whichever one is best for you, do that. Good. Right, here's one more. And I want you to pause the video in a second. I want you to draw it or use the fraction method like I've shown you. Right, so our new sum is 2 take away 6/8. So let's discuss it, then I want you to go off and do it. So you are going to draw your 2 shapes or write out your 2 whole fractions, and we are going to divide it into 8 equal parts. So off you go. So pause the video and start. Very good. Well done. Let's see what have you come up with. So I'm going to start off with the fraction one this time. So if my denominator is 8, that means my numerator should also be 8. So this is 1 whole. But I have 2 holes. I need to have another 8/8. I'm going to put this in brackets because that is my 2 holes. Both numbers are the same, top and bottom. That's 1, 2 holes. I need to take away 6/8. So let's take away 6/8. So what is 8 take away 6? 8 take away 6 is equal to, got it, 2. So take that away and I'm left with 2. So 2/8. So now I can already see I've got 1 whole here. So I write my answer. I'm left with 2/8. Let's draw it this time and see if we can come up with the same answer. So I'm going to have 2 cakes. I need to cut it up into 8 equal parts. You see the 8 there. So that's 4, 6, 8. Let's try again. I've got 2 chocolate cakes and they each are shared or divided into 8 equal parts. But my sum says I've given 6/8 away. So we need to take 6/8 away. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, only 6. Sorry, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've given 6 parts away. Right, so what is left over? I have 1 whole here. So I'm going to write 1 whole. What's left over here? 2 parts I have not colored in. And how much do I have all together in the shape? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts all together. And that is my denominator. Are these 2 exactly the same answer? Yes. So I now know that this method works exactly the same as this method. You in future choose the one that is best for you. Or you can always start off with one and then go back and check it with the other method. I'd like us to do this one now in our book. So let's do this together. And then I'm sure you'll be ready to do your work in your books. So Molly has 3 pies. How many pies does she have? 3 pies. You see I'm circling the numbers. She gives 9/7 to John. How many pies does Molly have left? So I need to draw my 3 pies and then give 9/7 of those pies away. Right, so I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. So let's cut them into 7s. Draw another one. And the last one. So there are 3 holes. Okay, so this is 7/7. That one is also 7/7. And that one is also 7/7. What must we take away? Let's see. We need to take away 9/7. So I need to take away 9/7. So let's take away 9 from our pie down here in our drawing. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's not enough, so I'll go to the next pie. 8 and 9 all together I've given away to John. He's a lucky guy. What is left over? I've got 1 whole pie left over, so I'm going to write 1 there. So let's write the whole sum first. So it's 3 take away 9/7. I'm left off with 1 whole pie, so I can immediately write in my 1. What fraction is left over here? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the part I have not shaded in is what's left over, and that's my denominator. My numerator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is not shaded in, that's left over. And my whole pie is divided into 7. So that's what we found out when we used the drawing. Now let's work it out by using just the fractions. So because my numerator is bigger than my denominator, I need to add these 2 together. So what is 7 plus 7? Yes, it is 14. So let's put it up here. 14 take away 9. What is 14 take away 9? Yes, it is 5. So take this away, take that away, and we're left with 5/7. So we're working with that, and we're working with this. So we know 7/7 is equal to 1, and we're left with 5/7. Is it the same as this answer? Yes, so we know our sum is correct. Right, so good luck with this, and I hope it has helped you to work out your sums in the future. But before we do that, let's go over our steps. What must you do first when you're working out your calculations? So first you need to draw your holes and then divide it equally in the denominator of your fraction over there. Or you change the whole numbers into a fraction with the same denominator. So my denominator there in my sum was 4, so I'm going to divide my shape into 4, and therefore my numerator will also be 4 to show that this is a whole. Once you've got your fraction or your drawing ready, you now take away the numerators. Like I did there, denominators are the same, you keep it the same, you only take away the numerator. So 4 take away 3 is equal to 1, and that's your answer. There's my shape, 4 equal parts. I've eaten 3 parts, and I'm only left with 1 part left, so 1/4. If you remember these steps, then you'll always get it right. So well done, keep practicing, and you'll be a pro before you know it.